Happy Wednesday, Run Tribe by Community, and welcome to our Fiery Ember Show. Now, this show is not about tips, tricks, and plans that get you fitter, faster, or stronger. And if that happens, it was a mistake, and I'm sorry in advance. This show is to provide some laughs and levity with training and racing by having a chat with everyday athletes about absurd and interesting things, such as what is the last meal you would eat before blasting off to Mars with Matt Damon? We've gotten answers such as wheat thins in the past. We'll see what today's guest brings us. So today I'm joined by Tom Smoot, who goes by Smootosaurus on Instagram and Threads. And his profile says that he is a biomedical engineer chasing PhDs and was once a Army civil affairs guy. Now, for a person like myself, that is a lot of words that I have no idea what they mean, but we're going to find out. So let's bring on my newest friend, Tom, to the show, and let's have some fun with him. Hey, Tom,
Hey,
thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah. This is awesome. I'm pumped to have some laughs.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole ball game right there. Is we're gonna have some laughs. So we talked in the green room. I am a native New Yorker. You have relocated to New York. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
Oh no, that's how you know you're a transplant.
Possibly. I fell in love with it in Hawaii, to be honest.
Okay. We'll give you a pass on it then. If you fell in love with it in Hawaii, that's the place you should eat it. Don't eat it in New York City. So speaking of pizza in New York City, you got a favorite pizza joint out there?
I don't. There was one I used to order from during COVID. I can't remember the name. I think it closed down. But while we were all locked down, like you have to order food. There was a really good pizza place that did a cauliflower pizza, and I would order it with pineapple and bacon.
There are pizza enthusiasts and perfectionists, I guess. I don't even know the right word. That would say, wait a minute, cauliflower pizza with pineapple? Like, that's not New York City pizza. What do you say to those guys?
They can suck it.
I love it. So here's the deal, dude. If you make your way over towards Hell's Kitchen, my favorite pizza joint is on 37th and 9th. It's called Tivola. And it's like an old school. It has like a mob setting feel to it. Like when you walk in, it's real narrow. The kitchen is in the back. You got to walk past the tables to get to the restroom that's in the back. It gives you that feel of in Godfather 1 when Al Pacino kills the guy. But it gives you that total feel. And I absolutely love that place. So whenever I'm back in Manhattan, that's one of the first places I go.
All right. If you go like 5 or maybe 10 blocks north, there's a place called Holy Cream. Okay. That is where I go get my carb fix because they have ice cream donuts that they make by hand.
Oh, okay. So explain this to me. Is it a donut cut in half with ice cream in the middle? So it's like an ice cream donut sandwich?
Yep, exactly. Oh. It's no good for you whatsoever. But when I need comfort food, that's where I go.
Then that's when it's good for you. It's perfect for you at that point. What's your go-to when you go there?
Oh, I tell them to surprise me. They have all kinds of stuff. I will just walk in and tell them, put something with peanut butter on it and surprise me.
I love it. So, dude, yesterday you posted something and I could not stop laughing about it. So you posted you're going to be racing the Marine Corps Marathon and your playlist would include Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down, and Endgame by Taylor Swift, which is fantastic. Now, our latest What's in Your Earbuds show was about spooky Halloween songs. So based on that theme, what would be a song that you would have to put on your playlist?
Thriller.
Yes. That was exactly my first response.
How would you not put Thriller on there?
By the way, that's the only song I could think of.
That's fair. I would think a little harder about some more. Otherwise, it'd be a really boring run.
So are you a music person? You listen to music while you run?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
no, like curated playlists. Are they curated? Are they set to like paces? Are they set to themes? Is it just surprise me like the ice cream donut sandwich?
No, I write a new playlist for every marathon that I run, and I will build it as I'm training because you need hours of music, right? So I'll start with a few songs and let Spotify or Deezer, like fill in the rest until I build out that playlist.
Fantastic. Hey, your bio says that you are chasing PhDs. Are you in the midst of going to school right now?
I am a grad student studying biomedical engineering. And yeah, so like I'm here at City College doing this. Right now, my classes are all from the medical school. I have to do, because I'm a biomedical engineering student, we're required to take like a minimum amount of classes from the medical school so we can understand like physiology, basic physiology. Yeah, so yes, that is it. I work part-time in a research lab that studies cellular metabolism. Yeah, it's all super nerdy stuff. It's like the Big Bang Theory in real life. I'm overwhelmed with like all the geniuses I work with. I just kind of like stand there and grunt and yeah.
Which character do you most associate with? Wallowitz, Koothrappali, gosh, Leonard, and even I can't even remember the big guy's name now. The more famous one, Sheldon.
Sheldon. Yeah, definitely not
Who
Sheldon.
do you most associate with?
I'm the engineer in the lab, and everybody else is a scientist. So I would have to associate. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Howard
Wallowitz,
right?
You'd be Howard Wallowitz. Howard,
yes. Yeah. So I feel most like close to Howard just because I feel his struggle being the engineer trying to talk to scientists about nerd stuff.
Dude, Halloween's coming up, and in Manhattan, Halloween's a big day. You've got to go as Wallowitz as in your costume. That would be fantastic.
What would that even look like? How would I?
You got to get a belt buckle. Yeah, you'd have to get like a Ringo Starr wig. You'd have to get like a big belt buckle, some vintage T-shirts from like the 70s or something.
This is coming together. Yeah, I could do this.
Yeah, just head right down to the Village, dude. You'll be all set. You'll be right in.
I did that one year. I did that my first year here. I went as an Orioles fan, and I painted a black eye. I had an Orioles jersey, and I put a black eye on.
All right, so you've got to. I don't know if you follow Kevin Shea on Threads and Instagram, but you got to follow him. Kevin Shea, SHEA58. He is also from Baltimore originally. So he's a huge Orioles fan. He lives out here in LA near me. We've had some lunch here. But I bust his chops because, you know, I'm a huge Mets fan, born and raised, and the Mets beat the Orioles in the '69 World Series. So I hold that over him as like the only thing I can hold over him at this point. But then he told me he was a Baltimore Colts fan as well. And obviously the Jets beat the Colts in '73. Exactly.
If I told my family I was a Colts fan, they'd probably throw me out of the house.
Yeah, right. You know, with
in fact, I was heckling my brother. The Ravens started 0-2 this year, so on Twitter, I saw the community notes. The Ravens posted a touchdown that was called back, and the community notes were hysterical. It was just like, no, it's not a touchdown. So I grabbed a screenshot of that was floating around Threads. I sent it to my brother, and he hasn't talked to me since then.
So he has eliminated the Ravens as a team to root for, or oh no, he's the opposite. He's a big Ravens fan then.
Yeah, he's a little mad at me for heckling the Ravens. I have a sense of humor. I can laugh when they lose. It hurts a little bit. Yeah.
Same thing here. Like the Mets are playing in 22 minutes against the Milwaukee Brewers, and at this point in the season, they're playing with house money. You know, I'll pace, I'll be anxious and everything else, but if they lose, you know, we'll move on in life.
I feel like that's the one good thing we have in common as like O's fans and Mets fans is we understand loss.
Yeah, but painfully, dude. Painfully.
Yeah. Like we can laugh that off. I have been to so many O's games when you just you know you're going to watch a losing game, but you're just going to have fun.
So here's a crazy trivia for you. So I've lived in New York, Dallas, Phoenix, Seattle, and now LA. Outside of the Mets, I have seen the Orioles play more baseball games than just about any other team. I've seen them in here in LA, and I've seen them in Arizona as well. It's like the craziest thing to just like pick a game, and then they just happen to be playing the Orioles at the time. But it's been a few years, so I haven't seen Jackson Holiday, and I haven't seen any of the new guys that they've recently called up. And the team is so good now. I hope to be able to see them when they're out here playing the Angels, hopefully next season.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're
they're good.
So speaking,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I have to. I'm thinking like Showalter, being an amazing coach everywhere, did a lot of work on the O's system, so that they could have those kids in the farm system. That's what I credit it all to. But yeah, no, Showalter's a guy who's gotten around to the Yankees, the Mets, everywhere. Arizona.
That's right. So that's another guy that the Orioles and Mets have in common is Buck Showalter. So
Yeah.
Speaking of holidays, you like that transition from Jackson Holiday to the holidays? Which of these foods would you eat first? Pumpkin pie for an October Halloween representative, leftover turkey sandwich for our November representative, or a gingerbread house for our December representative? Which of those three would you?
Pumpkin pie, hands down. Pumpkin pie.
Stop asking me, dude. Here's your answer.
I'll just run it off. It's such a bad mentality to have, like the reward of food for the effort of exercise. But if you give me the pie, I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Sure.
Not even so. Don't even take it. Don't even slice it. Just give me a fork, and I'm going to town.
Yep. I'll probably cream? Break off the crust. Oh yeah, sure. If you're giving it to me, sure. There's no turning it down. I learned that early to never question food.
I want to see the fueling strategy for this Marine Corps marathon. Pumpkin pie at mile 2, ice cream donut sandwiches at mile 5.
I mean, I feel glutton for punishment. I hate eating fueling while I'm running because I don't like the feeling in my stomach. But pie might do it.
Hey, it's got fiber, it's got carbs. It'll get you to the finish line.
Very true. Actually, so I have these nerds gummy clusters on I'm waiting for my long run. I'm going to eat them because I've heard so many people talk trash about how great they are, and I've been living under a rock.
What color's your package? Forever. What color did you get? Blue or red?
Red.
Yeah, those are fantastic, dude. We bought a family size package here for the house. I think on Sunday. It's Wednesday evening. They're gone. They're so good.
Okay. I'm worried I'm going to choke on them, but it's going to happen. I'm going to do it.
Just make sure you have your hydration flask.
I can hear a little bit of
That is a great candy. We fell similar to you in love with them because everybody else was talking about them. And I was like, well, let's try them. Let's see what the hell these are all about. And without fail, anytime we go to CVS, a family package size of nerdy gummy clusters is coming home without a doubt.
Nice. This will be my winter addiction.
Fantastic. Hey, so we talked about you being a New Yorker, or transplanted New Yorker anyway. What's one thing that people have to do when they visit New York City?
I think you have to go to Central Park. Yeah.
That's up there for sure.
Right?
There's so much shit to do. There's never enough time.
Yeah. So I brought my kids here and I just had to take them downtown. We got lost for a day, just wandering, the Statue of Liberty down to Battery Park. So you could see the Brooklyn Bridge, the Statue of Liberty, all that stuff. But we didn't go to all those places. We just kind of stood around Battery Park and looked at it all and then got lost trying to find
the fish carousel down there is awesome too, down in Battery Park. That's a really cool experience for sure. That whole area is amazing. And obviously going to 9/11 and One World Trade is going to be a phenomenal opportunity. For me, honestly, it's go to the places that people don't go to, go to Chinatown, and go find yourself a restaurant that's in the corner that, you wouldn't find in Zagat, right? Go to that place because it's going to be phenomenal. We went on a vegan food tour the last time we were there, and it was all basically down in Chinatown area, and it was unbelievable. The food was so good.
Okay. I'm down. I'm down. Any kind of food tour. I'm good.
Absolutely, dude. And I'll send you the information because it's so cool. We went to a vegan breakfast place. It's a vegan restaurant. They serve breakfast there, which was pretty neat. We went to a Chinese restaurant, like I said. We went to this hole in the wall that was selling bao buns, vegan bao buns. That was phenomenal. We went to I think it's called Liberty Street Bagels as well. That was pretty neat place to go to, a little off the beaten path bagel joint down there too.
Okay, I
which
still
leads
get
me,
lost on south of 14th Street, but I've been
yeah,
in
because they all cross
Koreatown.
over each other.
Yeah, it's
All the
nice.
streets cross over each other. They just get lost down there for sure. Speaking of bagel joints, if you had to eat only one of these things for the rest of your life, now you can have other foods, but you had only one of these between New York City pizza and New York City bagels, what's getting eliminated?
Pizza.
Straight up, give me the bagel because I have a lot more
Yep.
variety. What was the rationale?
Yeah, I think that is I eat a ton of bagels, to be honest. And if you eat bagel, you're going to get all different kinds of flavors. You're going to get all different kinds of cream cheeses. There's so much, and salmon. That's a thing. I don't do it too often, but I'm very curious. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite bagel joint in New York?
No, I don't.
All right, so you got to go to Tompkins Square Bagels. They have 2 locations, both on the west side. It's my favorite place to go to in Manhattan. Is Tompkins Square Bagels. So good, dude. I'm drooling just thinking about it. By the way, like their bagels are so good, and they have everything you can imagine. When you talk about different flavors of cream cheese, they have a cookie dough cream cheese. You can't go wrong with it, honestly.
Shut up.
It's phenomenal. So, one of the questions I pose to people is, staying on the food topic, is you're about to blast off into outer space with Matt Damon, and you're only going to be eating sweet potatoes for the rest of your life while you're settling on Mars. What's the last meal you're going to eat before you get into the rocket ship?
Fried chicken. A whole fried chicken.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, like KFC style whole fried chicken, or what?
Ooh, yes. Okay, we could go with the KFC style. Yeah, the bucket. Yes.
Give me the whole bucket.
Uh-huh. And some of those little tiny chicken little sandwiches. Do they still make those? They used to do that forever ago.
With
I
the
used to go and get like 19
yeah.
of them and just.
I love it. That little biscuit reminds me of White Castle. Have you been to White Castle? You're a fan of White Castle?
No, never. I live a sheltered life.
Those things are the absolute worst for your intestines. They're called belly bombers for a reason. Like, I remember you'd go and you'd get a sack of White Castle, which I believe was like 15 or 20 of these things. And you would just inhale them. Like, you could eat so many of them so fast. Give yourself an hour. You better have a bathroom nearby because those things don't last very long in your system.
All right, fair. This sounds like Sonic. I spent a lot of time down south in the Carolinas, and Sonic was a big thing. Tons of hot dogs.
Oh, I love hot dogs. Just dirty water dogs on the corner of Manhattan. You cannot go wrong.
Oh, I'm such a sucker for a food cart.
What are you getting on your dirty water dog?
Mustard, probably just mustard. I actually like the kebab carts. I will just crush them.
Yes, you cannot go. I mean, when you walk, here's the thing, people have all their interpretations about Manhattan. I get it. But you walk through Manhattan and you can smell foods from every corner of this planet. And the kebab trucks are unreal. Like, the moment you walk past one, you get hunger pains. It's science, I guess. Something you should study, probably.
No, I don't want to study anything else right now. Let's stick with the food.
When I worked in Manhattan, my buddies, I mean, it felt like it was every single day. He would call me. This was before like instant messenger and shit, because I'm old. So he'd call me in the office and he'd be like, dude, you want to go to the corner for nuts? When you walk through Manhattan, those big nut roasting carts, and that smell is unbelievable. Yep. You could spend a paycheck at one of those places without a doubt.
I had a coworker who would just bring it into the office all the time.
What's the last hankering? What's the last hankering for a food that you've had that you satisfied? That you were like, man, I really want some X and you went and got it?
A chicken gyro from a food truck just a few days ago. I
Lettuce,
just walked
tomato.
by, I smelled it, and I was like, no, I got to do this. We got to stop right now. I need it.
You get French fries with it.
I think the food truck that I harass all the time puts the fries in the gyro.
Yes, so
Yeah,
good.
I'm pretty sure.
You said,
I hope they're fries. I don't know what they are, but I'm eating it.
dude, I could talk food all day. You said you're up near Lincoln Center area. Have you been to the Smith, which is right across the street from Lincoln Center?
Well, a couple times, yeah.
Yeah. So one of again, another favorite spot of mine. They have the blue cheese fondue type chips. Have you had those there yet?
Yeah. I've oh my gosh, I've had so much stuff there. Yeah. I do remember the blue cheese things.
Yeah, they're like homemade chips that are just covered in like a blue cheese fondue. Anytime we go to Manhattan, that's again another one of our first stops. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes.
How do you take your coffee?
Black, maybe ice. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, fantastic. Not far from where you are, I think it's on 71st or 72nd, Black Press Coffee, and Amsterdam, I think is the cross street. It's so good, dude. Like that place is another. Yeah, there's another place called Peaky Baristas over there. They've got a couple of locations in Manhattan that is also a really good coffee shop to go to as well.
Okay. All right.
So we've talked enough about food. Let's go back to music. You're getting ready for the Marine Corps Marathon. You're in the corral. Let's pretend like it's a baseball game. What's your walk-up song right before the gun goes off to run the race?
Oh, I would love to hear "Welcome to Black Parade."
Who's that by?
My Chemical Romance.
All right, we'll have to throw that to Ohm and Joe to add that to our playlist. Okay. We have a Everyday Athlete Podcast Network playlist over on Spotify, so we'll make sure we get that over there.
All right, yeah, no, that's a good one. That'll get you pumped up.
Fantastic. What are you eating when you finish this race?
Whatever they're giving me. They're handing out boxes of stuff, and then I'm eating all of it.
You have a most memorable post-race meal or food item for that matter. It doesn't have to be a meal. While you're thinking, I'll give you my answer. I had finished the inaugural Ironman Chattanooga in 2014, and they were handing out oatmeal peanut butter pies. And I had so many of those sandwich cookies. I mean, I could have put Little Debbie out of business because they were handing them out for free. They were getting inhaled.
That sounds delicious. Yeah. So the Marine Corps Marathon is actually really cool because they have this like festival at the end because it's in Crystal City and it's closed for the weekend. So it's like a giant block party with a bunch of bands and stuff at the finish line, and they're just handing out armfuls of food everywhere. Watermelon's really popular for some reason. Close to Virginia, lots of watermelon farms, I assume. So watermelon is the big thing after that race, and it's really good. But I grew up, in Baltimore, so I'm home with my parents for the week, and oh my gosh, I think we went to, I don't remember the name of it. Oh no, there's a little place, like hot dog place, right next to my high school, or very close to my high school, where I went, and I just go there and crush like all of their ice creams and double footlongs and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, this is the way endurance sports should be talked about. Like, look, we're all running miles, we're all swimming yards, we're all cycling, we're all doing hard things. What I want to know is about the double footlong hot dog you're recovering after the marathon with. I am surprised though, as a Baltimore guy, like crab boil wasn't at the top of your mind with some Old Bay seasoning.
I mean, it always is. I steer away from it because even in Baltimore, so many people do it really bad. And
really,
and my mom is like the crab cake police. She has no problem telling people how bad they make their crab cakes. She is brutal.
I love
So
it.
obnoxious. Yeah, no, she has a list. So there's a list of places we don't go. No, this type of stuff, we're not going there.
I love it. Whenever somebody
I-
goes to Baltimore from now on, they're going to have to get in touch with you so they can get mom's list of do not attend restaurants.
She's brutal. Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, dude. So, do you think in a foot race that you could beat a warthog?
Yes.
Are you as fast as Usain Bolt?
I don't know. If I can't beat it, I need to outrun it anyway, right? Warthogs are crazy.
They say
there's part
warthogs
of that,
run
like
up to
30 to 50 feral pigs thing.
Say that again?
There was this 30 to 50 feral pigs thing that was very popular on Twitter a couple of years ago. People, I don't know what happened,
not
but
familiar.
it was like a month of people just commenting about feral pigs running around and the need for guns and I don't know what else, but I assume that it's kind of like the running of the bulls, right? Like if you cannot run it, you have problems.
Well, we're not going to get a whole pack of warthogs, but I Googled, and it turns out that the warthog can run as fast as 30 miles an hour.
What?
Like, that's flying.
What? That's faster than Derrick Henry went last week.
He was scooting. He might be.
He was flying.
Yeah, he could probably whoop a warthog's ass, man. Like that dude is big and fast.
I saw the what was the ESPN stats, whatever their play stats was. They clocked him at 21 miles an hour at one point.
That's crazy. So
He's
Usain Bolt,
too.
Yeah, Usain Bolt ran the 100 meters at 27 miles an hour. That's if you like. That's crazy to think that Derrick Henry. Now look, he'd get beat, and he'd get beat by some good distance, but Derrick Henry's huge to be able to keep even. Yeah. Probably 30, 40 meters, he'd probably be able to keep up with Usain Bolt, before he gets beat. But that's incredible to think about. That's amazing. Anything you have coming up after the Marine Corps marathon, or are you going to just settle in and do some laps around Central Park?
Yeah, it starts to get cold here. I used to run 2 marathons a year, and the other one was in North Carolina. It was a spring race, and that was hard to train for because all the long distance, in like January when it's miserable outside here.
Miserable.
So I kind of like cut that out after a few times. I'm interested. I'd be curious. I'm starting to think maybe some cross training and getting into triathlons more. I've only done one triathlon. And I could probably use some time in the pool.
There you go. Hey, so when you're running, are you running around Central Park, or is that where you get most of your miles?
That's where I do all my long runs. I will do a couple loops on the lower end and then go all the way up to like Harlem Hill and around. If I'm keeping under like a half marathon distance, I'll run on the Hudson River side.
Yeah.
But they just started a bunch of construction on the trail there now, so I don't know where I'm going to go.
Interesting. There's so much to see down there, right? So if you run on the east side, you'll get past the Intrepid and Chelsea Piers and all of that stuff on the way, heading south, and then obviously you can run up the west side highway and see Long Island City and all of those other areas on the other side of Brooklyn Bridge, go over the Williamsburg Bridge and end up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So you must never be at a loss for a route, I'm guessing.
No, not really.
Do you have one that you repeatedly run that you're like, okay, I know this distance, I know these areas. I love the smell of this food cart over here on this corner.
Yep. Well, obviously the tracks in Central Park I know well enough now. I know, around the reservoir is like 1.6 miles, and the lower loop is 1 3/4. Over by the Intrepid, I know that the Intrepid is exactly 1 mile from my apartment. So when I'm going to go for a short run, I just go straight to the Intrepid and back. That's usually like my speed work days, something short, something I can just get myself out of breath. Where else?
You go anywhere near Midtown?
I did today. And because of the construction, I decided I would go south. I went down to Chelsea Piers and back.
Okay. Yeah, because Midtown gets to be a madhouse with the tourists coming through. Like it's damn near impossible to run through there sometimes, unless you stay on the outskirts of the avenues.
So I was actually very surprised today. So normally I run north up towards like Harlem area on the Hudson River, and there's never anybody out running with. I'm by myself on the Hudson River, that trail. Today I went south down Chelsea Piers. It was packed. There's tons of people running, and I was like, what is going on here? I gotta all these people. How do I do this?
New York City marathons in a month or month and a half. They're people are like nervous, so they're trying to get their last few miles in, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It was morning. It was an early like 7 a.m. run. I'm assuming that's just everybody's getting their pre-work. We're running and training for New York City.
Gotcha. All right. So the last few rapid fire food questions before I let you go, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat and laugh. Pumpkin spice or apple cider?
Apple cider.
Yes. Pop-Tarts, frosted or unfrosted?
Frosted.
Yes.
No question.
Red velvet cake, is it a real flavor or is it just chocolate cake dressed up to go to the prom?
Oh, it's a real flavor.
Oh, no.
Sorry, it's a real thing. There's a really good bakery on the east side over by Cornell, where it's called Padoka Bakery. I think they do a red velvet brownie with this incredible cheesecake icing. Oh my gosh! I used to go buy them and some cappuccinos and bring them into my coworkers because it was just too good not to eat.
Are you a New York City cheesecake fan?
Yes, Juniors.
Yes. Plain, blueberry, cherry. What are you going with?
All of the above. Okay, so I may or may not have shown up at Juniors like more than once and just ordered multiple late at night, maybe after happy hour. Yep, it might happen once or twice. I'm not going to confirm or deny that.
You and I, when I get up to Manhattan, are going to have to do a food tour, dude. It would be so much fun. All right, Halloween's coming up. What's the candy you want to see in your bag when you go trick-or-treating?
Full-size candy bars, maybe a Snickers.
Snickers. What's the one thing that is going to be in your bag that you're like, really? This is what you put in here?
Candy corn. Yeah.
That answers my question. The question was going to be, is candy corn a real candy or is it just earwax covered in sugar?
There you go. Earwax covered in sugar.
Are circus peanuts a real candy or are they just styrofoam painted orange?
Wait, the marshmallow circus peanuts? That's the stuff. Yes.
You're the guy secretly keeping that company in business somehow, aren't you?
Those and Pete's, yeah.
They're like, we're trying to go bankrupt here and close up shop, but we get this one order constantly out of New York City. I'm not sure why.
I randomly ask people to ship me food all the time. Last time
really?
I texted my kids. So I used to live in Buffalo, and I texted my kids and told them that this taco place that we used to go to now delivers. It's called Mighty Taco. So yeah, I like harass them all the time. I'm like, hey, if you're going back to Buffalo, mail me some. And I texted them just a few weeks ago and said, hey, never mind. I can just order myself.
Gold Belly?
And it was called Mighty Taco. Oh no, I've never been to Gold Belly.
Gold Belly is an ordering app. Like you can order food from anywhere.
Straight from their like store.
That's fantastic.
They must have gotten so many requests for this from people who move away from Buffalo because it's so cold and snowy.
Cold up there. I went to college at Oswego, which is probably like 4 hours east of Buffalo and an hour's north of Syracuse. It's freezing up there, man.
Yep. Yeah, I love it. It's great. 7 feet of snow a year.
Right? Like it never ends. It starts snowing in October, ends in May. It's ridiculous.
My first winter in Buffalo, I started taking pictures of the snow and sending them to my mom, and it snowed every day for like 33 days. My first 33 days there. After a couple of weeks, I stopped doing it. My mom was like, "What happened? It stopped snowing." I'm like, "No, it hasn't stopped snowing. That's the problem."
If it was back in the day, you'd be like, I ran out of film.
Yeah, yeah.
And you didn't mention Anchor Bar, which, obviously is one of the more prestigiously well-known places up in
Yep.
Buffalo because of the original Buffalo wings.
Yep.
So did you ever go to Rochester?
No, not too much.
So Rochester, like I said, I went to college in Oswego, and we'd go to Rochester. And Rochester has this place called Nick Tahoe's, which is home of the garbage plate. And there are two places you can go. You can go to the one in the downtown area. You can go to the one that's in the suburbs. And we would go to the one in the downtown area. And it was dirty as all get out. Like the griddle hadn't been cleaned in decades, probably. The chef cook is back there with cigarette, putting the ashes out onto the griddle. But you'd get the garbage plate, which is macaroni salad, 2 hamburger patties, potatoes, and bread. And you would just pour hot sauce all over it. And it was phenomenal. Now, we were 18 to 20 years old. I don't know that my gut would be able to take it today, but back then it was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's decent.
Last one for you on the way out, Tom. Tray of brownies is sitting on the counter. Do you go to the edge for a little bit of crust and some ooey gooey, or do you go to the center of the tray for ooey gooey?
Edge.
Nice. Good call. We end on a high note. We started off slow with pineapple on pizza being a yay, and we end up with the edge crust on the brownie. We can hang out.
Okay. Well, I'll let that slide, I guess, for the pineapple on pizza. But the brownie edges, it's got to happen.
It's got to happen. You got to have something to hold on to. It's like Sicilians. If you get a Sicilian slice in New York, you got to get the corner edge. You can't go to the middle. It's too messy. Yep. Tom, thank you so much for joining me on our Fiery Ember show. Really appreciate your time. Good luck to you at the Marine Corps Marathon. Then we'll be more interested in your pacing and your times. But for now, let's just keep having fun and putting those miles in. Appreciate your time, brother.
Yeah, man. This is cool. Thank you.
Bye.